Hey guys, Dr. Casey Schneider here, and welcome back to Movement Every Day. Today I want to talk about ankle mobility, specifically dorsiflexion, or dorsiflexion is when your foot goes up towards the sky. A lot of us, whether you're a sports athlete or the average Joe, we don't have the proper amount of ankle dorsiflexion, and that can cause a lot of issues. Some of us may feel stiff or achy ankles or feet when we wake up in the morning. Some of us may have pinching in the front of our ankles. Some of us just have general ankle pain. Some of us may not even be able to squat down into a squat position without our heels going up off the ground. And this all leads to limited ankle mobility. So I want to show you a simple test to see how much ankle mobility you have comparably from left to right. And especially if we start seeing asymmetries, one side different than the other, then we want to start focusing on that one that has that limited dorsiflexion, because your body is a connected unit. It's one full piece. So if you have an ankle issue, that can start to, say it's a restricted ankle, it doesn't move how it's supposed to be. Well, you're gonna have to pick up that movement from somewhere other than your ankle, because you have to still move, right? So the next available spot is the next available joint upwards, which would be your knee. And then if your knee doesn't pick up that extra motion, then it's gonna be your hip. Then if your hip doesn't pick up that motion, that's gonna be your low back, etc. And eventually, some of us who may have some limited dorsiflexion in the ankle, it may actually cause some knee issues, some hip issues, or even low back issues on that same side. So think about it. If you have those kind of issues, whether it's a hip issue, a back issue, a knee issue, maybe it might be stemming from that lower ankle, because you have limited dorsiflexion, and then your body compensates over time. It starts to wear and tear those areas. So I want to at least show you a way to assess that dorsiflexion in those ankles, and then I'll show you a little mobilization that you can do at home. So let's get started. All right, guys, here I'm going to show you a way to assess dorsiflexion, which again is when your toes go up towards the sky in your ankles. And it's a very simple test, very easy. So I'm going to have you take off your shoes. Okay. And what you're going to do is watch my foot and ankle here. You're going to want to get up against to a wall here, and you're going to want to try to bring your knee towards the wall while keeping your foot completely on the ground. All right, so it looks like this. If you first starting off, I would start maybe like an inch or two off the wall. You may have to go closer or farther away, and it will assess how much ankle dorsiflexion you have. So let's test it for me. This is good. My ankles are on the ground, my toes are on the ground, and my knees touching the wall. So that means I have pretty good dorsiflexion there. And now I can step back a little bit, about an inch or so. And that's great. Again, my heel is still on the ground, my foot is still here, and I can touch my knee on the wall. So I'd say that's a pretty good amount of dorsiflexion here on this right foot. Next, I'll try to do my left foot. And again, that's pretty good. My heel and everything is on the floor. My knee is touching the wall. And that's too far. Now you can start to see, as I took my foot back, my heel's off the ground, but my knee's touching. So that means this is a negative test, so you can't go that far back. A lot of us, you'll start to see that, maybe the left foot, you can go pretty good, an inch or two or three away from the wall with keeping your heel on the ground. And then you switch over to your right one, and you can barely go an inch, and then all of a sudden, your heel's coming off the ground like that. So that goes to show that maybe then if that side, you can't get it far, those toes far back enough to where that heel stays on the ground, then that side's your deficiency. That's where you have to start working on your ankle mobility. And especially if you start seeing those asymmetries, like the left is much better than the right, then you really want to hone in on that, because that's where those compensations can come. And then you can have knee issues, hip issues, low back issues on that same side, because again, if that joint is stiff, then your body has to accommodate for that lack of mobility, and it will start to try to catch up with that motion somewhere else in the body. So let me show you a setup for a mobility exercise that you can try. All you need is a band at home, and I'll show you that in 1 second, all right? All right, guys, here I want you to go grab an elastic band of some sort at your local gym or at home, or go buy one, and it's very simple. All you're going to do is take that side where your ankle is limited in that dorsiflexion, and you're going to wrap that band around the front of the ankle. Okay, and then you're going to go out to a little bit of tension. Make sure that band here is right at the front of your ankle, especially if you know anatomy, it's right on that talus bone. And I want you to get a good enough, stiff enough pull where it feels like the band is pulling your ankle back. And then what I want you to do is I want you to milk forward or lean forward with that ankle. And as you start doing that, you'll start to notice you can get more and more dorsiflexion. Why? Because that ankle, you're pulling that talus bone back, kind of putting it in position, adding some extra mobility within that ankle, and it allows your ankle to track properly. It allows you to get that extra range of motion. Hopefully you do this a few times before you play basketball, football, any kind of sport, or before you do your squats. And then what happens is you'll increase that mobility of that ankle, and after you can get into a deeper squat, your ankles are more mobile and actually could be stronger and more stable within your sporting event. And we can start to assess and then start to get rid of those problems that you may start to already been feeling, like your knee pain, your hip pain, or your low back pain. So it's very easy. Just kind of rock forward, try to keep that heel on the ground like that, and just let the band do the work. You just kind of lean forward and mobilize, self-mobilize that ankle. So guys, I hope that helps. Try it out. This is something that's very overlooked by a lot of people, whether you're a sports athlete or just an average Joe. It will help you out. Just stay to it and just kind of do it whenever you do anything lower body related, which is pretty much any exercise, right? And I hope this helps. Leave comments below. Like always, I love to subscribe on YouTube as well as just liking the video as well. I hope that helped, like I said, and until next week and until the next video, remember, movement's everything and movement's life.